This is Greg Penglis for Action Radio with Founding Moments, insights into our founding documents, sponsored by Santa Rosa Volunteers here in Santa Rosa County, Florida. Santa Rosa Volunteers is available at their website, SRV1776.com. That's SRV1776.com. Anti-Federalist number 8 was written by a federal Republican. That was the name they gave. The author, rather than go over the incredibly repetitive and fallacious arguments of Alexander Hamilton and the other Federalists, who were simply making up horrors in order to scare people into ratifying the Constitution, the author here starts with the Articles of Confederation and what made them successful. A federal Republican says, "By the Articles of Confederation, the Congress of the United States was vested with powers for conducting the common concerns of the continent. They had the sole and exclusive right and power of determining on peace and war, of sending and receiving ambassadors, of entering into treaties and alliances, and of pointing out the respective quotas of men, and men which shall each state furnish." This pretty much takes care of the flawed argument that the states could not defend themselves or each other, and are not automatically guaranteed to fall into a few confederations declaring and waging war on each other. That simply didn't happen under the Articles of Confederation, much as the Federalists said it would without the brand new and very different Constitution. People, including me, tend to forget that there was a working Congress operating under the Articles of Confederation, preserving liberty and providing for the national defense. That will be the subject of my next report. The author goes on, "But it was expressly provided that the money to be supplied by each state should be raised by the authority and direction of the legislature thereof, thus reserving to the states the important privilege of levying taxes upon their citizens in such manner as might be most comfortable to their peculiar circumstances and form of government. With powers thus constituted, was Congress enabled to unite the general exertions on the continent in the cause of liberty and to carry us triumphantly through a long and bloody war." Money, which means taxes. One of the most important principles of a republic is taxation with representation. The closer the government to the people, the better the representation. That's why the states should tax their citizens and pass on the required amount to the federal government with no direct taxation from the federal government on the people. And here in one paragraph, the author lays out the entire problem with not only the Constitution, but the disastrous way it was put together and released to the people and states to ratify. A federal Republican says, "Upon this principle, a General Convention of the United States was proposed to be held, and deputies were accordingly appointed by 12 of the states charged with power to revise, alter, and amend the Articles of Confederation. When these deputies met, instead of confining themselves to the powers with which they were entrusted, they pronounced all amendments to the Articles of Confederation wholly impracticable, and, with a spirit of amity and concession truly remarkable, proceeded to form a government entirely new and totally different in its principles and its organization." Every problem and future catastrophe that befell this country after the ratification of the Constitution can be traced in origin right here to this paragraph. There was no reason to come up with a completely new document, and therefore a new form of government when amending the Articles of Confederation would probably have been just fine at the time. And then, gradually over time, new concepts for better government could have been amended in. But given the federal government has become every evil the Anti-Federalists warned us about in these papers, it turns out that history proved them to be right. The Constitutional Convention should have stuck to simply amending the Articles of Confederation. The source for the Federalist Papers is federalistpapers.org. The Anti-Federalist Papers are from selfeducatedamerican.com. The Articles of Confederation are from usconstitution.net. This is Greg Penglis for Action Radio with Founding Moments, sponsored by Santa Rosa Volunteers. Their website is SRV1776.com. That's SRV1776.com. Please share this report to anyone who needs it.